Let's go live. Well, I say let's go live. Hopefully nothing goes tits. Last time we did this, I ended up losing my own goddamn stream. So look.
Someone else done it for you.
Literally did. It went over to Rolly Raymond. Let's have a look. Come on, baby. Turn that off. And with a bit of luck, by the magic of... Oh, no, we're not. Hit that button, and we should be live. Bit of luck.
I think we are.
We are live. Yes, baby. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix. Show one. What is it? What is it? 145. Oh, hang on a minute. In Dart's voice, because it's a good number for this. 145. I think.
Sounds like it does.
There's some, joking aside though, there are some numbers which are better. And it's not just your 180. You can go with 45 on its own, is a good one, isn't it? Where you just go 45. You think?
The 5 is really nice on the back. In the back of the throat, you can get a little extra action on that. Yeah. Really nice. Really.
Or you can go with like a simple 11. Yeah. Quite good. 16. Quite good. But we're past them. So tonight, it's 145, ladies and gentlemen. How many years is that? That's lots.
Almost as old as Pascal Girard.
No.
I mean, almost. Not quite, but getting close.
Nothing is that old.
Yeah.
But Pascal Girard, mate. Pascal, if you're watching this show, up you well, dude. If John had grown a beard in tribute to yourself, Pascal, it'd be a fucking sight greyer than that. That's for sure. Pascal's
getting there. It's getting there.
It is coming on that, John.
Look, I'm really pushing this. I'm pushing my limits as a human. I do not have good beard growing genes, but I'm forcing it. I'm willing it to come out.
Yeah. Check Austin out with that.
Austin's better.
That's
don't be a disgrace to the human race. Grow a beard. I'm just joking.
That's a good beard, that, Austin.
It's solid.
I appreciate
it's very nice.
I need to get trimmed up.
You're not playing games there. We did have a pre-event super chat from Silky Wilkie saying that I need to check out something called Taskmaster, which I have no idea what that is. But I think it's a TV show of some description. Never seen it, but apparently it's really good. And JCJ Wank popped in to say great show. So I need to check that out. Don't actually know what. Anybody know what Taskmaster is, guys?
Well, I'm looking it up on IMDb right now. It's been in action since 2015, starring a bunch of Brits. So that's why.
What exactly is it? What's like a description? What's it about?
Let me give you the synopsis here. IMDb. 5 comedians are set tasks challenging their creativity and wit. The tasks are supervised by Alex Horn, but the taskmaster, Greg Davies, always has the final word.
Greg Davies, where do I know him from?
There you go.
Is that
Alex Horn, I think, is the big, tall, goofy-looking guy. I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, look at this from Terrian. He's gone early with the forearm flex, ladies and gentlemen. Hey? Already the mental games have started.
Look, that's how my beard used to look like.
Cut this.
Oh,
hey?
Nice. Why would you shave that? Why would you get rid of that?
Because he's getting gray now.
Oh,
I think people were too scared of him, so he decided to shave it down.
Yeah,
to look more friendly.
Now, before we go any further with tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, let's just have a quick check on John Terrian's weight loss regime, because you're looking thin, son.
Oh, thanks.
You're looking really slimmed up. What are you weighing now? You what? 176 somewhere on there?
I know I'm a little heavier, which I was planning on saying a little heavier. So I'm like 182, 183 pounds, which I'm not too sure in kilograms, but it's 7 pounds away to make weight. So I could lose that within an hour of water cuts.
187 is 85 kilos.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like 82 kilograms probably.
What were you when you came to Ironhouse 2?
About 187. So I was about 85 kilograms.
Yeah, because you look way trim. You've done a Rolly Ray on us.
I do have a haircut and a beard cut, so
Yeah,
that
it
could
might be
make a
that.
difference.
Have you seen Rolly Ray recently, John?
He looks
Yes.
smaller.
Different league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a cigarette and a twisted tea,
Twisted tea.
that ages you a little bit too on camera, right?
100%. No more cigarettes for me, though.
Oh, you quit, huh?
January 1st was my last smoke.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, good for you,
yeah.
mate. Twisted
My
Tea need
endurance-
to be sponsoring you.
What's that, sorry?
Twisted Tea need to be throwing you a sponsorship, mate.
I agree.
I've never seen anybody drink as much Twisted Tea. I mean, just importing that much Twisted Tea to the country was quite impressive.
Oh, I had to.
That's
But
my
this
cup of
time
tea.
I'm taking my flight this time. I have to switch flights 3 times, so I'm just bringing a carry-on baggage. So I am not bringing twisted teas.
Oh,
So a rum and coke will have to do.
yeah. It's not going to be
Dang.
the same. With no Uncle John in the house this time as well, because he's got his Canadian citizenship, haven't you, John?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. I still haven't even got my form to start my passport process at this point. So it's we're going to sit this one out, which really pisses me off because there's a lot of matches now with just these 4 guys that would make it well worth the trip over there to see those matches in person.
Without question, mate. We got Big Loz official is in the chat.
Yes,
Loz, good evening, mate. I think they trained tonight as well.
yeah, we did.
You've been training tonight, have you?
Yeah, I wasn't training too much.
Did he roll up, Loz, tonight? Is he doing well?
Yeah, he's becoming a really strong dude, man. I think he's already coming into the top 10 supers.
Lovely
Whoa.
darts. That's great news. That the transition of some of the strong men continuing, and Lawrence Charlet, mega dude, getting into the sport, super diligent, absolute elite strength athlete, and can't wait to see where he can go in the game via now.
Give him another year, and there's going to be a.
Well, look, if Laws wants his rematch with me, he better do it now, because as soon as I detect he's too good, then I'm out. I'm taking that win and taking it forever.
If he gets another year training, mate, you're going to be buried. I'm telling you now, man.
Let's get it in. Book it now before he gets too good.
Get it. But
Honestly, I want to see Uncle John versus Eddie. That's the one I want to see.
Hey, anything can
Can't
happen. I'm
handle
out with
me.
Eddie in a couple of weeks, going for an Indian with Eddie in a couple of weeks. We got it booked after Europe's. So you never do know. As the White Hawk, ladies and gentlemen, joins us tonight as usual. Paul Lynn. Hey, happy birthday to your little lad, Paul.
Thank you. Just got back. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mega. Did you have a good day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tremendous.
Excellent.
So we just had a super chat in, guys, from Engen's Forehead Taco. Thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put Larry's performance in California and the East versus West qualifier. What did everyone think? And what's a good matchup for him at East versus West? Paul, do you want to dive in on that straight off the bat?
So I didn't watch it. I just got the report of the winners though. So I haven't got a chance to go back and watch it. I don't know who was in that field, but I know from what I hear, he pretty much dominated both arms in the supers.
He's coming on.
Yeah.
The only person that I saw beat him all day was Oleg in the overall left-handed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only loss he took all day.
Yeah.
Who was in the class? Do you remember who?
So right-handed, it was Dave Depew was in there. A few guys I didn't recognize. Kyle Depew was in there. I mean, I don't. Alan, he pulled Alan Fisher on the right hand in the overall. He beat Alan on the right.
Okay.
I can't remember who else was in there. There was a few decent pullers. But the thing was, I just put a video out on this. The thing that I like to see from Larry, beyond the fact that he did well, is that he didn't look like a scrub. He looked like he's getting it. You know how you're in the pool for the first time and you're like, oh my God, I'm drowning. And then all of a sudden you figure out how to kick your legs and move your arms. Mm-hmm. Larry looks like he is very comfortable in the water right now. And that's what I'm happy to see.
Yeah, it's really good. When you see the lads, going back to what we were saying about Laws earlier on, you know, you see these guys that are elite level athletes in other strength sports. They come to arm wrestling, which takes some balls to do anyway. Any transition when you've been at a high level in another sport takes a set to do that. The guys come over. Obviously, they're cannon fodder initially because they're just inefficient. The movement's inefficient, and all of the power is being burned into the ether. And when you do start seeing these guys joining up the technique and starting to look proficient at the table, it's really good. And congrats to Larry, congrats to Loz on the gains they're making. Rob Frampton, another great guy. Anybody who doesn't know Rob Frampton, absolutely lovely individual. And Rob has thrown himself into arm wrestling absolutely headlong. And he's looking so much better now in every respect. I'm very proud of the lad. He's done a great job. And hopefully these guys, they're in a way torchbearers. I mean, you know, what Larry's done to make that transition, it's great because it does encourage other guys to come over to throw in their hat into the ring, and we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. For those of you who are new to the chat, guys, or haven't seen or are wondering who our collective are tonight, let me tell you straight off the bat, if you're just joining us, Iron House 3 goes next weekend. So actually starts on Thursday this week. So Armwars Iron House 3, and we are going to be going out with some matches for our channel members. So Arm Wars YouTube channel members will get to see action from the house as it goes down at the weekend. And we got some amazing matches on that lineup. Some of the headliners from that are on the show tonight. What a matchup we've got. In the men's lightweight division or light middleweight division, we have Mindaugas Terasaitis of Lithuania, who's with us tonight. And he will be facing John the Savage Terrian of Canada. So that's a tremendous matchup. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got at the other end of the spectrum another Lithuanian, Mindaugas Dulskas, man that's dominant over in the UK right now in the super heavyweight division, and he will be facing the man of the moment from the United States of America, the Juggernaut, Austin Jaggers, who's coming over to Arm Wars, making his debut. Paul, how much have you seen of Mindaugas Dulskas, mate? Have you seen this guy pull much?
I've seen a little bit recently, just recently. I'm not super up to speed, but I've heard you speak about him in the past.
Very powerful, mate.
How much of a litmus test this is for Austin.
I think this is I am so excited about this match. I am so excited about, and you know what? I've just seen somebody else in the chat, and if he is available, I'm going to ping him right now. I'm going to ping him over the join link because he's another guy I wouldn't mind just dropping this over to, and if he's around, let's have a look. Yeah, just while I'm sending this over to Mika, we will also just have to say, John Thompson, I want your insight on how you think our very own Savage, John Terrian, is going to go on with Mindaugas Terasaitis.
Well, look,
how do you see that one going, mate?
I've had the distinct opportunity to know both of these guys very well over the last year or so. I was lucky enough to be able to kind of bring John into the Arm Wars fold with the Savage Search. He comes in, knocks it out of the park, and ever since then, I was just talking about this the other day, John, where we had a conversation at Iron House. And it was kind of like, well, where do I go from here? And I'm like, well, clearly you're super goddamn strong. Clearly, you know what you're doing. Yeah. But now it's about more, right? Get out, push, go, see how far you can go, because you might have 4 matches in a 2-day period at Arm Wars. You got to be able to rely on that arm. And what did you do? You have not stopped arm wrestling since Iron House, right?
No. So I have a match every month.
Matches all the time. So I think your level of improvement, your level of sharpness is going to be just par excellence. However, let me be fair, because Mindaugas Terasaitis is one big dickhead. Let me tell you what. This guy has no fear. Like, it's good enough to get a little emotion out of him, but fear is never on the menu with Mindaugas. He doesn't care about how powerful, how explosive, how anything you are. He's there, he's ready, and he's so confident in what he does that he will go to his grave arguing with Neil Pickup about if there's pronation in a hook or not. right? So man, I'm super wound up about this match. I think that John Tarian has to prove it. Mindaugas has proved it time and time again. But if there's anybody that's on a rocket ship ready to land on Mount Mindaugas, it's the Savage, John Tarian.
Going to be a real clash of styles.
Yes.
Going to be a real clash of styles. Paul, you're obviously familiar with Mindaugas Terasatis. You know what he does well. Have you seen much of John Tarian in action yet? Is he quite new to you, or
just the arm war stuff for the most part? No, I mean, I catch some Facebook videos here and there. You know, he's had matches down in Florida, so I'm familiar with that, the Noel Nunez stuff. But I mean, very new, like probably haven't tracked for more than a year. So I love seeing him get out and get outside the comfort zone and step out in the big stage. But Mindaugas, man, have your mind right. Better have your mind right. Mindy's different, man. He's different. Now, I'm not even saying that physically. I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, like getting ready for Justin Bishop, getting ready to pull Mindaugas, and his head games are like next level Devin Larratt stuff.
you know what made me laugh? I watched a show couple of days ago, and it was really funny. It said the fix, all the fixes is just a group of guys who all agree with each other.
Yeah.
And that was ace, because myself and Mindaugas always agree 100%. Whenever you throw me and that dude on a practice table, and you will see nothing but complete alignment. Isn't that right, Mindaugas?
At Neil's funeral, right? At Neil's funeral, Mindaugas is going to be yelling at your gravestone, arguing with you still.
Oh,
I can simply say I was right.
Listen, Mindaugas Terasatis is my guy. He's the guy. He's awesome. Absolute quality. Flies the flag. And brilliant performance. Well, let's be honest, he's had a number of brilliant performances, but his last performance at the Iron House 2 was ridiculous. This is quite interesting for you, Mindaugas, because with John, you've got a guy who, once again, is a naturally bigger bloke. He's a bigger lad. But he's not a bigger frame, I would say, than you. Your weight's distributed very differently. But how do you see this, mate? Because John Tarian, we saw the pace, we saw the speed, we saw the savageness, the aggression, the savagery he brought into that match with Frode Haugland was off the scale. Does that concern you at all, or do you think you can put the brakes on before he gets moving?
Yes. So where do we start? John obviously seems a little bit dangerous. He does have a few good weapons, I would say. Extremely like muscular. I'm much more bony. I'm just a skinny guy, and he looks way different than me. So the muscle power and that aggressiveness is clearly a big weapon. Also, he's super active now. Not one of these guys who is just coming into the game after a while. He was active for this whole time. So that's, in my mind, another weapon. And a few more good qualities I can see, but also I can see a couple of things which might be a problem for him. I don't see him being very good at getting into the hook. He can hook if he gets into it, but maybe I didn't see too many videos of him, but I didn't notice him being too aggressive. He doesn't really jump in. So I'm already thinking, okay, I might have a pretty good chance to just play my game and top roll him. And just overall, I know that Neil has a job and he must film good matches. He wants to show people good matches, but that's not my job. My job is to play on this line where I try to humiliate my opponent as much as I can, but not to the point where the match gets canceled and Neil doesn't want to show it at all, right? So it's a very fine line, and I'm gonna try to play around that line. And I feel like in this match, I have a pretty good chance to have fun.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, John,
Mendes is just being a cunt as always.
So one thing I have to say, his little talk that he talks to people, I am Canadian and we don't give a shit. So that will not work on me.
Very good, very good.
So you'll have to do it on the table, or try at least.
Very good.
we've got a good joke in the chat from Vanessa. I think your other half might be in the chat, John. She just put, is
sure.
Iron House 3 going to be live? I love your work.
Hey.
Listen.
She wants to keep an eye on me.
Yeah. Vanessa, Iron House 3 will be viewable for Arm Wars channel members. So the Arm Wars channel members will get to see the match or the matches from a segment of it on the weekend it happens. Yeah, we're not going to, it won't be live. We'll do it as live as we did last time, but it will be streamed. So effectively, you'll see the thing. The reason why we're not doing that is because the Iron House is in the middle of nowhere. It's for those people who've been to the Iron House, they'll know the situation. The internet connection is not great up there. We haven't got massive bandwidth. We want to make sure that our channel members get a mega show. So we're going to be, you'll probably be, I would think, 3 to 4 hours after the thing is filmed with a bit of luck. That's what we're planning to do, to go out after the event takes place. But you will be seeing the matches on the weekend that they take place. Yeah, that's for the channel members. That's the Arm Wars channel members will get to see that. All levels of channel member. If you're a channel member, you'll get to see the Iron House main event matches. And there are some bangers on there. We have Frode Haugland versus James Wall. We got Mindaugas Dulskas against the Juggernaut. We got Mindaugas and Terrian. We got Philip Ritz, Tom Holland, Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams against Adrian Dracula Popescu. We got a great card. We got the Chicken Man. Some people call him the Strawberry Cough. Joel Cagle. I can't wait for him to come over, John. I'm
He has a great
excited
attitude
to meet Joel Cagle. I mean, I can't. Maybe more excited to meet Joel Cagle than anybody that's ever been.
Yeah,
to Arm Wars.
he's awesome.
Dude's buzzing as well. He's looking forward to coming over, and he's going to be pulling against the guy that you faced already in Jason Hill.
Oh yeah,
How's
That'll
that
be
going to go,
good.
John?
That could be very interesting. Joel is really going to have to watch out for the speed at which Jason's biggest weapon, in my opinion, is the speed and viciousness with which he enters into his hook, right? He's really going to drill you. And if you aren't ready for it, if you're not going in the right direction, you're going to get caught up. So if the Strawberry Cough gets off a little bit early, maybe he goes just a hair too quick, that would be my recommendation. Because if he gets deep in the hook with Jason, we might have a problem. But if he can get a little bit more onto his side, secure something, then we're in talks then.
Should be really entertaining stuff. So everybody who doesn't know, Iron House 3, it starts from Thursday. The first match or the first matches will be on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the main event matches will be taking place. Hell of a card over there. And as I say, the main event sequence of matches from the Iron House will be available to Arm Wars channel members only on Sunday. The rest of the matches will be made into films, as will these later in the day. So you'll see the films later in the year, but we'll be making, there's about 22 to 23 matches taking place over the weekend. We're going to have about 5 to 6 matches on the main event sequence, and you will be able to see those if you're an Arm Wars channel member on Sunday. So yeah, should be a great event. Cannot wait. Amazing stuff going on in there. We're going to come to the White Oak for a moment as well, mate. I want to just check something out. I know you've had a busy weekend, but you're quite a student of the game, mate. Did you watch the Hardanger Open this weekend at all?
No, I mean, I did not like sit and watch it, but I did catch some of the super matches.
Did you see Victoria Ilyushina and the Flame. Did you see that match?
No. Is that on the long? I saw a long video and I was just trying to work my way through and find matches. Is it on that one or is there like a final edit?
They were flick-flacking from matches. So they had 2 girls go, then another 2 girls go, then 2 guys go, then another 2 guys go, and they were intermittent. So you had, for example, Rolly Ray was in there. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the guy that Rolly Ray pulled as well. I think it was a Norwegian guy, a much bigger guy.
Yeah,
but not a lot I've pulled with or I'm really particularly familiar with. But Ray looked really lean, but really strong, really ready.
Side pressure looked good.
But I'll tell you what, Caro and Victoria, every round was an absolute screaming, career-ending death war. Went everywhere. There's a couple of weird decisions in the refereeing, but overall, loved that. Absolute quality. So Caro, Vicky, amazing.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat has a link to that and a timestamp, drop that thing in there for me.
I am pretty sure Craig of Ickland will definitely have it if he's kicking around the play. Oh, Marcus Thompson from Arm Gods is in the chat as well. I'm just seeing there. We got. If you're not familiar with Arm Gods, go and check out their stuff. Yanis Amelin's pulled over there. Mindagus.
Oh yeah, against Bankston
was there.
Yep.
Gotta tell you. So let's.
It looks like Bankston can still rattle off a little bit.
Mate, he is one of those dudes that's like below the radar.
Yeah.
But the kid from Latvia, Tom's, wow. I mean, he beat Nicholas and then he beat Glenn. Looked very impressive. As I say, get over, check out the Hard Anger Open if you didn't see that, guys. Great stuff. So NWUK won with a super chat, and it's for you, Uncle John. It's for Uncle John. When you become a citizen, we officially welcome you to the Commonwealth. Make sure you bow to King Charles on your next visit to the Iron House.
Well, thank you. First off, thank you. I am officially a citizen. I'm just waiting for my passport and my credentials. I have a very, you would say, tricky relationship with King Charles now. He was around when I visited the first time. So you could imagine that there was a little bit of difficulty, when you got kind of a new dad when you're that age. And, I don't want to talk
secrets. Majesty's Secret Service and all that back in the day.
Right. I just want to let him know, Charles, let's let bygones be bygones. She's all very close to our heart. Let's just move forward. I'm in the Commonwealth now, buddy.
That needs, as well as the beard, you'll now need a false mustache when you come over. Next time, on top of that.
I'm going to write a book called Me and Charles.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Agents of Chaos with a super chat. But any arm wrestling practice near Destin FI or FL is that this week? Where is Destin, guys?
That is where Doug Ehrlich.
Florida.
Okay.
Where Doug Ehrlich's from. Contact Doug Ehrlich.
So Doug Ehrlich, and Doug's looking shredded as frig as well. Yeah. If you haven't checked out Doug Ehrlich on Instagram, get over there. Mate, looking absolutely ripped to the bone. Looking like a Paul Lynn clone.
He better start eating. I'm not sitting in the sauna by myself. Doug, if you're listening, eat. Go have a cake.
How much does he weigh?
Ridiculous.
How much does he weigh?
He's 83 kilograms right now.
83.
Mate,
I think would be a good match with Mendogas as well.
Hey, it could happen.
Yeah.
That was nice. Nice.
Keep your eyes open. It's coming. It's coming.
I'm excited to see his match against Daniel. Daniel is a big threat, so I'm really excited to see that.
An absolute monster. I mean, we were talking about it. Myself, Paul, Doug was on. RVJ was on last week's show. We were checking through the matches from East versus West, and it's a no-lose situation really for Doug, in my opinion. I mean, Daniel's such a weapon. If you put up a good show against Daniel, you've done well.
Right.
No, exactly. Daniel can pull from anywhere. It's not like Mindy, who only has his one little trick. Daniel can literally pull from anywhere.
Yeah.
Mendogas knows it. If he goes back and flip.
Yeah.
How do you see that match, Mindy?
I think that Daniel will destroy Douglas.
Oh, tell us what you really think.
Oh, that's what I think.
I'm gonna text
But,
Doug and have him in the comments.
Doug might do well in the beginning. Like, I think he might have some good rounds at first, but I don't think he can last for too long.
Mm.
I think that's going to be his main problem. But I'm sure Doug is getting ready, and I know it means a lot to him. I think if he loses, he's not going to be happy. So let's see.
Yeah, hell of a hard match, but tremendous opportunity for Doug. Tremendous opportunity. So, Agent of Chaos, thanks for your super chat, mate. Much appreciate that. Let's look who else we've had in here. Morton Erickson. He's put, hi Neil. Am I the only one who thinks Tobias can shock Lalatin? They pull left-handed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's doable. Left-handed, it's doable. I mean, we don't. Sperong's been out for a while, so where's he at? I think that's the big question. We know how dangerous he is.
Yeah, left hand you probably can do it, but no, not right now.
Yeah, I think Lalatin starts as the favorite. I'm pretty certain in most people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
But Tobias Sperong's a force, and he's coming up. It's possible. It is possible.
I want to know if that poster that they released, the East versus West poster with those two guys, if that was to scale, because like Tobias is like seems like he's about 3 feet shorter than Vitaly, and I know Tobias is a very big guy.
Yeah.
But like Vitaly looked enormous compared to Tobias.
Lalatin is a huge dude.
Yeah. It's just like his arm just never ends. It's just like,
yeah, he's a big boy. He really is. I mean, Lalatin's got crazy potential.
Yeah,
I mean, I think everybody knows I'm a huge Vitaly Lalatin fan. I think with the a little bit more time, he's one of those natural giants that's just got the frame to fill out. It's a bit like Kadecha. You know, he's just one of those guys that's got every advantage in the world. When he joins everything up and continues to grow, God knows where that guy can go because he's crazy. I think he's had some bad luck. I think he was very unfortunate against Dave. If I'm honest, that was I thought he won that match. If I'm perfectly honest, no disrespect to Dave, but I do think he was very unlucky on a couple of decisions. You take your money, pay your money, you take your chance, and Dave Chafee got the win there. Good on him. Wrestled his ass off.
What a match that was.
Oh my God, it was a phenomenal match, mate.
That was his best.
Absolutely magnificent match. Great to watch. It really was. I did feel for Vitaly Lalatin after that. You meet Vitaly also. He's such a lovely dude. Really, really good lad. But incredible technician. Really, really growing into the weight. Think he's got huge potential. And when he's on, dangerous individual.
How old is he now? Like he's got to be like early 30s, mid 30s.
I would think early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
I would think. I need to check that out to see. Exactly.
Let me know in the chat, guys. How old?
Yeah, he's been. Somebody will know if you've got anybody can just check that out, guys. But I know he's been in the game forever. You know, when he was back in the 90 kilo class and so on, he's come up through the classes. But massive frame, and he looks good at the weight at the moment. Agent of Chaos with another super chat. He's put recently won a 242 amateur right arm tournament. It went easy. I felt like pro level is way beyond me. How do I know when you're ready to go pro? Well, the funny thing is, mate, in answer to that, back in the day, there was no amateur and pro. It was just arm wrestling. And I really think that one of the best ways to know is to just go in there. If you're safe, if you're pulling safe, don't let things hold you back. Just dive in. A loss in arm wrestling is just a loss. It's nothing. Everybody gets beat in this game. So don't fear the loss. Just throw it in there. Go and get your feet wet. There's pros and there's pros. In every sense of the word, arm wrestling and most combat sports and most sports, it's about levels. There are levels, there are good pros, and then there are better pros, and there are even better pros, you know? So it's a expansive argument. I'd get in there and I would just get your feet wet. If you want to get better at the game, you've got to get out and get active, pull as many arms as you can, and put those building blocks on. I mean, if you look at someone like John Terrian, I mean, since Arm Wars, mate, you've been relentless.
Yeah.
Every week.
like I bought a gym set. I still haven't lift weights. I just don't have time and the will to do so. I believe training on the table, going to events, table time is the most important thing in arm wrestling. That's where you get smarter on the table, you get stronger, your muscles form for arm wrestling. So I'm not sure if it's like that for everyone, but I believe table times, like I said, the most important thing to do.
Oh, without doubt.
This is such a hot topic in our region, Neil, because we're so saturated with new arm wrestlers. We've actually adopted in a first-timer class, an amateur, and now a semi-pro to allow for the progression. And we get an immense amount of amateurs and semi-pros, guys. So it's adding another level, for you to kind of work your way up the pecking order. But it also allows you to multi-class. Like if you're an amateur and you think you can semi-pro, enter both of them. Get the ready goes. I mean, it's my stance is like if you're early on time-wise, just like Neil said, it's all about pulling safe. We're bringing all these new people into the sport. We want to keep them safe and keep them around, but we also don't want them to be stuck somewhere where they're dominant and then get stuck trophy hunting. So it's always my opinion, pull as many classes as you can,
Exactly.
as long as you're safe. And then when you're there, when you're ready to roll and you can compete, if you can go 2-2 in a pro class, you never go back, but you got to kind of have the balls to do it.
And you have to keep in mind, even if you do lose because you're not thinking you're ready for pro, who cares? Even if you lose, you still gain experience.
Exactly. And table time is king, like John's saying, table time's king, it is. But unless, even if you're doing ready goes at practice, it is not the same thing. Pulling your buddy on a ready go, then sitting across from somebody who wants to rip your arm off and is timing to go up because they got something important, on the line. So you got to go get those things and you got to do them as many as you possibly can, in my opinion. Pull as many classes you can, many weight classes you can, as long as you're pulling safe. And then once you know you're there, never look back.
And you do have to give yourself time to heal. Like you'll know the difference between being sore and hurt. If you do feel hurt, take the time it takes to heal before you go back on the table.
Yeah,
I disagree. Look, guys, I disagree. I think
that's fucking awesome, Mindingus. Because usually the fix is just about people who agree.
Yeah, Mendavis.
Because Pradeep said.
We're not allowed to disagree, Pradeep. Pradeep said we're not allowed. Don't break the rules.
Don't come on this show and disagree.
No. I think people should train for at least 10 years until they feel like they become like world level pullers, and then they should try to compete. I think it's not good to do it early.
Yeah, only till you're like on the Mount Olympus of arm wrestling.
Because it doesn't feel good to lose. Why would you go and lose? You better train harder and wait until you become the best in the gym.
I like Mendavis because I almost believe him halfway through his days.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, listen, Mendavis, right? I'm going to let you into a little secret. A guy that some people consider to be a genius. Name's Ryan Bowen. Of the beard struggle.
Yeah, that guy's a genius.
Once said, right? Don't fear the loss, because every time you lose, you're one match nearer to never losing again. How's that feel?
No, but yeah, that's different for Ryan because he's a ginger.
Okay, you need to walk me through that, but I'm looking forward to you doing it. Go.
There are different sets of rules.
Okay.
For us normal people, it's different.
What do you mean for us normal people? What do you mean?
No, I'm sorry. Nothing.
You mean like non-geniuses?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. Actually, I could have done with Ryan or his dad on the show earlier on when I was trying to work out how many years of shows we had. Could have done that because both Ryan and his dad being over the 155, they would have worked that out real quick, and I needed that earlier on. Didn't have it tonight. It's a damn shame. But we did have disagreement, Pradeep. Disagreement. It's all about the drama on here, son. That's how we roll. Let's have a look if we got any more super chats. Silky Wilkie has come in with a super chat. He's put, is Larry winning now up on par alongside his strength because he knows what to protect or where to attack. I still think he has massive room to grow. Massive. You know, he's starting to put things together a little bit, but nowhere near the level of fluidity you can get.
So it's like this. Larry before had a saxophone in his hands, right? And he's going to make some sweet, sexy sax music. But he's just like blowing that sax as hard as he can, and it sounds like shit, right? It sounds like shit. Now, Larry is treating that saxophone like a nice lady, right? He's getting some good tones. The tones are great. He can hit those notes. But now Larry has to start making beautiful music, right? We got to go from note to note to note, and that is Larry's next step. And that is also the best anecdote you're going to hear today.
That's quite, I must admit, that's amazing, mate. That was top 5.
I think, you know what, is Larry done a good thing, because when he started, it wasn't competing like for, I think, at least a couple years, which is a good thing, because usually when the people start and they grow big muscles, and the tendons is not that, you know, good. And then they go on the tables trying to use their muscles, and they're digging deep. And what's happens? The muscle holds it, and the tendon just snaps. This is what's happened with the big muscle guys. And he done it all right, because he done like for a couple of years, he was just training and training and training, and then starting engaging all them arm moves, you know, techniques. And I think he's doing all right. That's why he's doing all right.
Oh my God, he's got massive growing room. And the fact that he's taken the ass whippings he has, and he's sucked it up and he's stayed with the game, my hat can't come off far enough. Good for him. And it's nice to see him getting some wins and getting some results. And I'm sure he'll end up very different.
He did some things backwards, you know what I mean? I think him being over in the States now is a huge blessing, because he's got these smaller tournaments that he can go and test against like mid-level pros. I mean, jumping into the fire with some of those guys in Dubai, they did show up there and pulling super matches, and then even you know, having the blessing of having Khaled over there with like the best hand in the world has jaded us towards Larry. And back to the super chat, I think it's less about Larry's offense. I don't think he's becoming offensive. I think he's learning to protect his hand and his weaknesses in the setup. It's pre-go protection, and then allow that horsepower to take care of itself nice and slow, you know?
And he still pulls in a very exposed style when he hits his hook. I mean, he's not tight. He's not, he's kind of one of those guys that's extremely explosive, very dynamic, but he's wide open on his bicep, almost hangs himself up on his bicep, you know, rotates the elbow right round and hangs himself. But he's got so much power. I hope he does stay injury-free, and I hope he continues to progress in confidence, because that explosivity is exciting. If he really joins himself up and can guard his hand and wrist, I think he can go levels further than he is now. I think at the moment he's sort of, what's the right way to say it? He's kind of, he's got individual components of his game that he'll throw a move in there, but it's, you can see that the individual components of his game, whilst they're joined up, they're not fluid. They're sort of all operating together as individual elements. And if one breaks down, he can't recover it all. And I think a year from now, he will be able to recover it all. And when he does, I think he'll be frighteningly strong. I think he'll be because he's a naturally explosive guy. And at this point, let's welcome Doug Early to the Fix 145.
I'm only here for a second. I was bowling and I got a text that Mindy was talking shit. All right.
Out of his job. It's what he does.
Mindy can't beat me. All right. And after I go beat Daniel, I'm gonna beat Mindy. Just because you can't beat Daniel doesn't mean I can't. All right. You understand that, dude?
Look, Douglas, let me.
You need to work on your side pressure, Mindy. That's why you can't finish him. You have no tricep and you have no side pressure. You got a wrist. That's all you got.
Doug, save it for Tuesday, man. We all agree on here. We don't disagree on here.
This is hasn't everybody read how it is? The gospel according to Pradeep tells you in clear form that when you come on the Fix, which he's banned from, banned, He is banned from
He
the
dropped
pit.
everything. He dropped all the bowling balls just to come in and say fucking.
He came in just to disagree.
Mindy.
And it's not even what we do on the pitch.
Mindy here, or did he tuck
Does
his
that?
tail and run? I don't hear him.
No, I'm here, Douglas. I'm here, Douglas. Let me just predict your future real quick. I think you're gonna lose to Daniel, and when me and you is gonna make sense, and then I'm gonna beat you, and then you will retire. It's gonna end this year.
Don't have him retire.
So it makes. So you're telling me it makes
What is
sense
going on?
just because it makes sense just because you can't beat him? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
He's your kryptonite, man.
I
He's your
lost to him,
kryptonite.
you're not gonna lose to him, and then we can fight, and then it's over.
My goal
I'll
is to
take
beat
care
him,
of
then
him
go
for
to
you,
Lance.
Doug.
John first. What are you talking about? Don't look past John to me. When John turns you into a hook and stares at you and smiles, I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, let's hope for that. I would really hope that John can turn me in, but
No, no matter what happens with me and Daniel, I'm John after he beats you, because that's just like you're fading, man. You've already peaked. You've already hit your pinnacle. You'll never get any better.
I didn't start training yet.
Moms.
Look at me, I didn't start training yet.
Take up swimming. That's I think you would be great.
Swimming.
I should think about it.
Yeah, I've got
He's
big
got
hands.
them long arms.
Yeah, big hands. How are your feet? And what size feet have you got?
He got webbed toes and everything.
Yeah, extra large.
Oh, is that true? Are you like part duck?
No, normal feet.
What size feet have you got, Mindigus?
It's European 43.
Oh, that's complicated.
Yeah.
They're like size, I think 10.5 or something.
Is that what that is? 10 and a, you got
Yeah.
10 and a half feet?
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah, because you're how tall are you?
179.
So you're like what,
178.
5'9", 5'9", 5'8.5", 5'9". So yeah,
Is it not 5'10"?
we'll call it
10
5'7".
inches wide too. He's got really weird feet. They're square.
He can walk on snow. He don't sink.
Well, that's Tobias. Tobias has crazy. feet
Don't
and
say
hands.
anything bad about Tobias. Not when I'm on. You want to say something about Tobias, you say it when I'm not on the show. I don't want any connection to me that was Tobias. I didn't say shit.
It was Mindaugas.
Mindaugas that said it. So go looking for him. I have no interest in that. Carlos Joaquin with a super chat.
Real quick, I gotta go. I wanted to get that in from Mindy. I love you, Mindy. I'm just fucking with you. And but John is gonna beat you. I gotta get back in there and go bowling. And
No worries, mate.
I'm just looking to prove you wrong.
Yes,
You're
Douglas,
the one person.
Doug, before you go, we got a super chat in from Chess Gold with the money dedicated to buy you a selfie stick while you're walking around your house in the parking lot. So you like that one?
Look, man, I'm always doing it the most Bobo ghetto way, man. I set my phone up, fucking.
Absolute class.
I'll take that cat. Hey, with all these super chats I've been getting on some of these channels, I should have like $100 right now.
Doug, thanks for taking the time and checking us out, mate. We'll catch you maybe next week if you're around. We're coming from the Iron House next week with a bit of luck on maybe even on Friday night we'll be doing something. Oh my God, it's getting even bigger. So Carlos Joaquin with a super chat.
Announce all the winners before it airs.
Don't worry, it was filmed 9 years ago, so it's not a problem. We just kept it quiet. John Thompson was clean shaven when we actually did these matches, but you know it's not true at all. But so Trip War 03 with a super chat, and he's put, is Prokopchuk the scariest opponent for Mindaugas? Mindaugas, is he your most frightening opponent, Daniel Prokopchuk?
I think, he for sure used to be. Now I would like to try him again. But for quite a while, he really wasn't my biggest nightmare, just because he was able to pull the no wrist, which took away all of my advantage. So yeah, his style is for sure the pain in the ass.
How's it going to be, right, Mendigus? If you get over to the Iron House next Saturday, next Sunday, so you're in there next Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And you crack John Terrian's wrist back. Boom! You come up and you get your resting spot, right? And you look across and you smile at John Terrian. And the Savage smiles right back with his wrist busted back and just goes burning at you.
He cannot do that.
How's that going to be?
No. It's not enough to simply be able to do it a little bit. You have to be really extremely good to be able to hold it like that. So, and Daniel is a bit special. I don't think John has it yet.
We'll see.
Tell you what, good warm up. Are you confident, John, going into that match?
I'm super confident.
I'm quite happy also that John is willing to come down to 80 kilo, right? That makes it a legit match.
Mm-hmm. Oh, say hi, Aubrey.
Hi.
Hi, Aubrey. How are you doing? You okay?
She just woke up from her nap.
How you doing? You all right?
Yes. Oh, she's shy. But yeah, so Dogus's hand is super strong. But I think overall, it's only the hand. If I can bypass that, I don't think he has the strength to stop.
I think I could probably hook you right away.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think I can do that.
Oh, man.
Starting a hook. First round, starting a hook.
Yeah, maybe you should do it just for fun. I don't know.
You can go. Let's do it.
A brave move right there. Hey, Sean Brophy with a massive super chat. Sean, good to see you again, mate. It's been a while. Hope you and the family are good. He's put great show, boys. Always entertaining. Way of the giant thumb. Yes. It's all about a thumb, ladies and gentlemen, as you'll have seen from No Limits. And just before we go any further, let me welcome onto the show Mika Sakvadalidze, ladies and gents. Right there. California IA.
Hello, legends.
Hey, mate, get ready for Arm Wars. It's coming.
Dude, I'm so excited. I want to say I'm so honored. I feel like so.
Hi.
I'm trying to contain myself right now, just being surreal on this podcast with you guys. This is amazing. Hi to everybody.
As long as you come on here and you know all you can do is agree with everybody.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Dude, some of these comments make me laugh because I follow the podcast very closely, and they're definitely not the case. But
it was good the other week with RBJ and Devon on. That was all about agreement. That one, that one where my channel really got banned.
Yeah. No, everybody's got their opinion. They're strong-minded, not afraid to tell each other what's up. So that's what makes it interesting to watch. I love it. But no, I'm excited for Arm Wars, man. I think that a lot of people don't know, but my right hand I haven't pulled in a while because I was injured for the last one. I missed it. So I've been itching and aching to just get it fixed and rehabbed and did everything in my power to get it ready. So I think I'm facing Joshua Davis. Is that right? On the right hand?
Yes, sir. It is indeed. You got thick skin.
Yeah, he looks really good. He beat Adrian on the right, which is very impressive. And the way he pulls is interesting for me because that's always challenging for my style. But and I don't really know how strong he is. He looks pretty strong, but I don't know. But right now, I feel really, really confident. I feel really good. I'm really, really good. On my right arm, I feel really, really strong. My left is decent too. So I'm excited to come out there and display what I can do.
So Mika, I know you love the game, mate. You follow it very, very closely. I see you're everywhere and anywhere in the chats of so many shows. And I know you're an avid follower of some of the guys that are coming up in the game. Have you seen much of Mindaugas Dulskas and Austin Jaggers?
Yeah,
And if so,
I've seen it.
where is the money, mate?
Yeah.
Who do you believe is going
This
to
is so actually both Austin is newer to me as well, Mindaugas as well. I saw Mindaugas' performance last time against Hedda Morris. That was very impressive. Obviously, I didn't expect that. He's extremely powerful, very, very strong. But Austin Jaggers really took me by surprise. In California, he beat none other than Derek Smith, our very best. So I think that's going to be a really good match. I'm with Austin on this. I'm with the Juggernaut. I got Austin for this one, but it's definitely not going to be an easy match. Of course, I'm a little biased, USA, California, and all, but
Appreciate that, man.
yeah,
let's throw a little bit of John Terrian flavor on this one as well. John, how do you see the super heavyweight match going? Because you've seen Mindaugas up close, and I think you've also seen Austin Jaggers up close when you were at the same event in Kentucky. So both men you're very familiar with. How do you see this going down?
Honestly, I've seen them both against great opponents. They are both so strong, so intelligent on the table, and so ready to crush. So this will just be a crazy match. I can't even say who will win. For me, it's a total surprise. I'm more excited about that than beating Mindaugas.
Now, you know what I really like about the match with Austin and Mindaugas? They're basically like the same dude from different countries. When you they're the same dude. They're both like big friendly bastards, aren't they? Who go to death.
That's funny.
Both of them are that guy. I think you guys are going to get on really well, but I think the match itself is going to be an absolute career ender. I really can't see any other way this goes, because I know neither one of you has a backward step in you. So,
like usually you're able to tell like someone has a touch of like more experience or whatever, but like in this case, like the two guys are just super strong, super intelligent. So like it's one of the only match I can't even say who will win.
Yeah, we've both been in the game, I think, for the similar amount of time. It's like he's been doing, I think, 6 years. I've been doing the same, but since 2016. Yeah, Mindy, what's your opinion? Who's going to win between us?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit difficult to tell, actually, because
I don't know if you watched
so well. Yeah, Austin did so well just recently. I really like Big Mindaugas' technique. His hook is beautiful. But on the other hand, Austin seems to be quite okay with top roll. So yeah, I really cannot tell. It's gonna depend on where you end up after go. If you end up in a hook, I would say Mindaugas wins.
Oh, and that's interesting because Austin's looked really solid in there. I mean, your side pressure, I've got to say, Austin, has looked great. It looks like you've worked on that. I mean, if you wind the clock back to the Lachlan match,
yes, I'm telling you now,
so far
that Lachlan match is what really made me work on my hook. I mean, Lachlan showed me what a strong hook felt like that I wasn't used to training with, and so I really started working on my statics at different angles, and I think my hook has gone up 30-40% since I pulled Lachlan.
Wow.
So,
you know,
I'm hoping it. I've worked on my back pressure too, but with Derek was too long. I couldn't really back pressure or go up top with Derek. I mean, his reach is just unreal. So I ended up having to get him in a hook as well. So my hook's getting better, but my top roll's still there. My press is getting better too.
Your press is looking really good.
Well, one of the things that I see as being most dangerous from Austin is just these angles that you come at from that have no right to be strong. You have no right to be strong in that position. And it happens to be like the strongest position you have. And that
Yeah.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's almost like a anti-meta way of arm wrestling, right? You're going against the grain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's working,
and
obviously.
He's like a giant bearded Joshua Davis,
Oof.
like a giant version of thick skin.
I bet he's got thick skin too. Good. They could have a biting contest and see who's got thicker skin.
I think Mika can bite Josh when he comes over. Just give him a quick bite and be like, to be fair, he's got really thick skin.
Well,
Yeah.
looks like I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to test these angles then.
And also the endurance factor for the big guys, they're both pretty good. That's what's
Yeah.
surprising too.
Yeah, and
Like-
both have got that get peeled back and win from a horrible position
Yeah.
thing going down. You know,
It's gonna be a war.
scary actually.
Yeah.
So Mendagas, all you have to do to beat Jaggers, I did that myself. You just have to make sure he has a 24 of beer, and then you can actually do something with him.
So
I don't know how you guys drink and arm wrestle, man. That's amazing.
I don't do it often, but whenever I'm away and I've won a match and it's the night after, I'm ready to rock and roll.
yeah, you gotta have a bit of fun. Then,
You're kind of my guy, eh?
you should hang out with a White Oaks missus. If you want to get some wild evening, she will open the bar for you.
Should we do a drinking contest on Friday and then do arm wrestling on Saturday then?
She literally got the pub opened when it was previously closed when we were at East versus West. Turkish waiter came out and she's like, open the goddamn bar.
Even ask Mindy, he knows what I do before arm wrestling night. I'll go have a half a bottle of whiskey before I go to the match next day.
Oh,
What a freaking man.
Love it.
So we had a super chat from Engin's Forehead Taco. He's put, where do you guys, oh, here we go. Where do you guys side on this live commentating issue? Should we obey Master Engin, or should guys continue to give exposure to arm wrestling for non-buyers? My personal view on it is that you should respect Engin's wishes just because he's the guy that's pouring all the money in there.
We're gonna have a disagreement right now.
Let's go.
There it is.
All right. Well, look, I gotta go. But before I go, I will say this about this whole live commentary issue. Will I do it? Won't I do it? You guys can all tune in on the day of the event. Will he do it? You won't know until that day. Tune in, like, share, subscribe.
What a dick.
You go.
Total disagreement there right at the end of the show. John, thanks for checking us out, mate. So who else wants to chime in on that? Come on, Paul.
So I've gone, Pradeep and I talk all the time. We've done some collaborations and stuff, and he's obviously on the other side of the fence here. And he will defend things like to the death. We went back and forth for probably 3 hours until like 4 a.m. one day. And I'm just like, we went through all the logic of it. And there's so many intangibles that you can't check. You can't say, okay, is this harming it statistically? Because there's no statistics. And then the defense that it's making it better and people are going to buy it because of it. There's really no way to track that either, unless you come up with some sort of promo code and you can, but you still can't ever define what the detraction of the pay-per-view buys are. But I know it and understand it through the fight sports, like friends of mine, the UFC in its infancy. Which events do they buy and which events don't they buy? So like, if you're a diehard, you buy them all. But if you're on the fence, you pick and choose. So like, if there is another option to get your information, I just can't see any way where it would have more of a positive effect than a negative. And we've gone through the whole maturity of UFC, right? With like 30 years of the UFC maturity. So arm wrestling right now is in a very volatile state. And Engin is putting so much into it. And he is make or break based off of the pay-per-view sales. That will decide if there's another iteration, because he doesn't have that level of sponsorship to offset that risk. So in the situation right now of the immaturity of arm wrestling as a whole, it is super detrimental. If we grow exponentially over the course of 5 years, why worry about it? There's going to be piracy. There's going to be all these different things that you can't control. You just stay ahead of it. So obviously talking to Engen, I'm trying to encourage him. Let's find ways to promote a little bit better to offset it, because we can't really control what people can do. But the reality of it is, when you have the live commentary, we are finally starting to grow a non-arm wrestler fan base, guys who don't arm wrestle and never intend to. So right now, like, or a couple years ago, predominantly the arm wrestling community and the arm wrestlers are the ones buying it, you know? So like, they're probably going to buy it to support no matter what. But even the commentary is coming from that same community. So if, in fact, we got the godfather of arm wrestling in Engen Terzi, who is dedicating his life and soul to this thing, and he's putting his own money on the line, and he's trying to do the right thing for the right reason, and he asks you to stop, but can't really define why he needs you to. That's like your dad says, do it just because I said to do it. And you got to do it because it's your dad. Like, at the end of the day, let's just, you know, and I got the counter argument for Pradeep. Well, if we all stop doing it, there's going to be some channel that does it anyway with 500 subscribers. I guarantee it.
Right.
I said, nobody's going to see it though. Like, if between 4 live commentaries, we're carrying an average of 3,000 live viewers at all times, and that stops, people don't have the option. And if I'm the guy who's on the fence, I might go buy the pay-per-view, you know? So the if factor there, it's like Engen wants us to do it. Your mom asks you to do a chore. You don't want to do it. Just do the chore, you know? My take.
Yeah.
Sorry for the monologue.
No problem at all, mate. I think it was a very good point of view. I mean, there's going to be people who take different sides on that. Let's go around the place. I mean, Miko, how do you see this?
I mean, obviously, I would respect what Engen is doing and what he's saying, so I wouldn't run it personally. And I agree with what Paul said. With everything that he said, it makes sense. The only thing is that argument of, look, if it's legal, people are going to do it, right? If whatever the system rule is, whatever the system is, that's what's going to happen, right? Regardless of how we feel, regardless of how much we love the pay-per-view of what Engen's putting on, we can't control it. So once people grow, like if another channel just posted on Facebook, hey, you know what, these guys aren't doing it, I'm doing it, you know, there's always guys like that. And I think that you just can't stop it. So then the question is, if you can't stop it, what can you do? Should we have, like, you know, guys like Pradeep or you know, Uncle John, who are doing, or Ryanbo, and all these guys who are doing the live commentary, can they somehow benefit the pay-per-view? Can we do promo code like you said, Paul? That makes sense. I don't know what the best scenario is. Of course, the first instinct is no, don't do it, because that's what Engen wants, and I wouldn't personally do it. So if I'm doing live commentary and Engen says don't do it, I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to think about it twice. But that's the reality of the situation. Whatever system is allowing to do on YouTube, that's what's going to happen. So what do we do? You know, what's the best case scenario here?
Mindaugas, what's your take on it, buddy?
Which Mindaugas?
Excuse me. Yeah, tell us it is.
The Moriarty?
Moriarty, what is your take?
So yeah, well, my first instinct, if Engen is asking for something, I would maybe try to do the opposite. But I would also like to be invited to East versus West again.
Who's that?
I would say that we should not do it. We should, no live commentary.
Austin Juggernaut Jaggers. We got.
You know, like I was saying the other day when I was on the show with Paul, we had a talk, but it doesn't make a difference to me. But like Paul Lynn said, he's kind of like her dad or her mom on this. He's the one that's putting all this money into it. He's the one that's doing all this work and trying to get it a big money show and an actual pro sport. We kind of have to listen to him. Like, as much as people don't want to, or as much as somebody that's not going to. And another thing, if somebody does and they don't have that many followers, big whoop, you know, or a lot of subscribers, big whoop. But you don't want somebody stealing all the thunder when you're trying to work for it and they leak it out. So in a way, I know exactly what Engen's saying. and I understand what he's saying. So yeah, I'd have to agree with him. I don't think there should be live commentating when somebody's paying pay-per-view. You're trying to, you're trying to make your money, get your money back on what you're investing in it. It's a business. So in order for it to succeed and take off and for us to all get paid more, we kind of got to go along with it. So,
I mean, England's trying to appeal to the arm wrestling community.
Yeah.
Support for the hardcore arm wrestling community. For
we need to support it
so that
as
he
a
can
whole.
deliver that exceptional show. Around the whole fair use and can it be stopped? That's a very different argument, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Because it can't.
can't.
You're always going
Right.
to get the people that will go out and do that. Whether or not it's right, people will do it. That's just the way it is, you know. Engin's got enormous respect from a lot of the sort of hardcore arm wrestling community, and rightly so. The guy's invested a large part of his life to the sport of arm wrestling, and obviously he's doing something really special right now, and he's appealing to the arm wrestling community for their backing and support. Within that arm wrestling community, I don't know, do guys like Pradeep sit within the guys that he's appealing to? Pradeep is earning his living from YouTube, and that's what he's going to do, I would imagine. Ryan Bowen the same. He's a professional YouTuber. Ryan, that's what he does for a living, you know. So he's got to generate views.
Some of you guys that know more about YouTube, I don't know for sure, and I know Pradeep will fact check me on this when he sees it. But like, let's say you carry a live stream with 1,000 viewers and some super chats here and there for the duration of 6 hours. How much money how much revenue does that person bring home in dollars? Does anyone have a ballpark?
No, I think it really depends on the country as well, because I think the sort of pay rates that you get paid I know that Ryan gets, from what Ryan's told me that he earns from views, it's way above what I earn. I know that.
Right.
Because when he said, I earn this,
let's say
way more than I get.
Let's call it $1,000. I feel like that's probably a high number. Let's call it $1,000. So if there's 1,000 people on for that duration, and that pay-per-view costs $15.
How many viewers did he get on these live things?
I think Pradeep carried about 1,000.
He had 1,000 viewers.
I could be wrong. Again, I'll get back.
That's not that much.
But I think he carried a very substantial amount for the entire event.
Right.
So I don't know what the video is worth. I never asked Pradeep. But my point is, whatever that money is pales in comparison to the potential loss. If 10% of those people were going to buy the pay-per-view, but said, you know what, I'm late and I don't feel like buying it, whatever, I'm just going to listen to it. Plus, I like to hear Pradeep's commentary over Travis's. You know, that 10%, if 100 people paying $15, that pales in comparison to what Pradeep made in comparison to what Engin lost. So it's like cost benefit, you know, and I know there's so many different perspectives on this. I just feel like the biggest and most important thing we could do as a community is find a way to aid Engin, because the only way to do it is to help Engin cut into his overhead, right? So and I've said this before, like if you're in the community and you know a business owner or somebody who may be interested in arm wrestling and wants a tax write-off and sponsor something, like let's come together as a community and help offset this, because you're never going to stop it. You know, as Engin being one of the most respected people in the community, asking, you know, the arm wrestlers in the community who are involved in social media to not do it. That's all you can do is ask. You can't stop them, can't do anything legally. So the only thing that we can do in the community is, you know, pull our means together and try and help Engin find some sponsors so he doesn't have to stress about it. But I know his stress level, and you can feel that energy of like the worry about the pay-per-views, even at the
of course.
And I feel for him.
When you've come through a big event where you've thrown money at it, it's terrifying if you think it's not going to pay. God knows, I know about that. You know that I've been doing that for 20 plus years. It's very, very, very scary.
Well, people in the live shows just listen to the arm wrestling, but of course, I'm not going to ever listen to the arm wrestling. I will go and buy a pay-per-view to watch it. It's like people listening to football, you know, on the radio. What the fuck, man? That's like, I would never do that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I would listen to
like-
boxing before television existed, but
It's
it
like
exists.
imagining, the like in your head what's going on in there. It's like, now I have to see it. Like, I can't listen to it. It's like, no chance.
That's what I was about to say. I can't listen to commentary for arm wrestling. I would just watch it. I would rather watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same,
So
but
one
there are
thing-
people who would.
One
What's
thing
the sort of
again,
argument for it, John, in terms of I know that some of the guys have been into this in detail, and I'm sure there's stats in there. I bet Ryan has them. Pradeep may have them. I don't know what their stats are. But what's the sort of angle here? Are these people tuning into the live commentary because they prefer the commentary of that individual? Because I am struggling to believe
I think so.
that.
I don't think so, Neil.
No.
You know what I think the main drive is? I think that people like the chat, because coming from
No, I get that.
I like the chat. And then there's a way around that. If Core Sports could build that in, where you're live, or you have another option. We're not there yet. They don't know how to do it. That's the facts of it.
Mhm.
But it is possible. Like the UFC
You're right.
has live platforms,
so I
You can
believe
listen to the commentary, watch it, and chat.
I believe Engen should maybe consider pulling some of these guys and make his own side commentating for the event himself. Like that, if people rather read and listen and comment, well, at least he would be part of this side action as well too.
Well, I think they could get a chat going from the event where, I mean, Engin sat in the. You could have a couple of guys that could operate a live chat from the gig. So you could have that could go. Serious question, all right? When Pradeep does his live stuff, does he do it in sort of Hindi language? Does he do it to the Hindi community, or does he do it in English?
English. He has
So
two channels.
Pradeep is commentating in English. I know Ryan's obviously doing an English commentary. I struggle to believe that the thing could be more entertaining just listening to a commentator without seeing the matches than it could be when you've got someone like, let's say, Travis Pagent commentating with the actual matches. I struggle to. For me personally, if I was tuning in, I'd want to see the pictures. I would pay.
I think that you're right, Paul. I think it's the chat, because I think there's a lot of people who actually buy the pay-per-view, who actually watch the pay-per-view, but also get on the chat. Does that make sense? Like the 1,000 people who are, they're not necessarily not all buying the pay-per-view. Like some of them buy the pay-per-view, they don't have a big chat. See, I have a chat going on with my crew, with my team. So we have a big chat going. So it's like super entertaining for us to talk about, because we get hype. We're like, oh, did you see that? Da da da. We get crazy in the chat. So I'm assuming people that don't have that want that to express themselves while they're watching the show, like they're watching it with someone else. So I think that's why you're right. I think that's really it, mostly.
Yeah, so it's more the chat's the thing that which you know, arm wrestling's a puppy of a sport. It's not a big sport, it's a baby sport. It's fledgling, and it's a tight-knit community. Obviously, there's guys in there that are, when you go into, I don't care whose live show it is, when we finished, if Jake's going on, if Ozzy's going on straight after this, there will be guys that bounce straight from this to the next chat and the next chat and the next chat. And it's good. They have fun. Brilliant. It's growing the sport. This is great that we're getting fans that are that hardcore. I think it's excellent, And so if it's the chat community thing that is creating the desire to do this, then I understand that. My personal feelings, obviously, I'm biased towards what Engin's doing, because I really want East versus West to succeed, because it's a fantastic entity within the sport right now. It's putting together great matches. Last night, I was watching the UFC in London, and after the show, there was the presser. Dana White was in the presser, and one of the media said to him, what's your opinion on Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, and the fact that it's on, off, and you see this so many times. And Dana was referring to the fact that happens a lot in boxing. One of the good things in arm wrestling is we do get to see the top guys face one another regularly. And East versus West has put that in place strongly right now, where you're getting the best of Eastern Europe in the elite super heavyweight versus the best of North America. and in other classes as well. And I think that's great, and it's something to be protected. We've got certain unique entities within the sport of arm wrestling, and it's good if we can protect those. East versus West is right at the forefront of that right now. So if Engin is becoming really stressed out by that, just for the good of the protection of that event itself, I would tend to feel like we should just let it lie and do what Engin wants you to do in that respect. It's his show. He's put an enormous amount of money in there. I would hope most people will do that. Do I think they will? Not necessarily.
Some of them live shows, it's they do like promote a little bit as well, like putting links in the descriptions, where to buy the pay-per-view, and just keep repeating it, going by the pay-per-view, which is, I don't think is a bad thing, it's because they pushing the people to where to go to buy, pay-per-view.
Well, there's two ways of looking at that, isn't there? There's also the counter to that East versus West going on, just an event like of that magnitude taking place, feeds channels like Ryan, Pradeep, and myself and everyone else, gives us a great deal of things to talk about in the lead up to the show. So that's a two-way street, in my opinion, because it doesn't mean that you have to go straight across the event. It means then you can go up to the event and then direct people and drop off for months prior. If you look at Pradeep's show, if you look at most shows, all the shows that are coming up now, whether it's Grip and Rip, Paul Italia, Tom's show, any of them, you look at the stuff that's coming up, a lot of what they're talking about is either the matches that are going on in East versus West and other big promotions, or the athletes that are going to take part in those. So very much a two-way street, in my opinion. Paul, go.
And that's one of Engin's, and you know what? When it comes down to all these things, I don't think that Engin's, angst is towards Pradeep, because Pradeep's on his media team. And one thing Pradeep does do is promote the ever-loving shit out of East versus West prior. Like, he talks about all the matchups. He talks about where you can buy it. He asks people to buy it. So I think maybe there's a little bit of principle stuff there. Like, if you want to do the live commentary, do me a solid. And in the lead up and build up to all this and all this content that we're forking out for you, give us some promotion that like ahead of time. Yeah. And that's where you're going to sell the pay-per-views. You're not going to sell them mid event. You're going to sell them prior. So if I believe Engin would be open to these live streams if someone was like, all right, look, like I'm going to make, a good effort to help promote you ahead of time. I think that there's
makes sense.
There are ways to mitigate it.
So let's knock over some of these super chats real quick, and we'll get back into this and a couple of other things. So let's have a look. Trip War 030303. Thanks for your super chat, mates. But Neil, in your prime, do you consider yourself in the top 10? In the top 10 overall, mate? No, not in my opinion. No. I believe I was definitely in the top 10 in the world in my weight class, for sure. Do I believe I was top 10 overall in any weight class? No, I do not. I was pulling at 80 to 85 kilos at my prime. And I'm naturally trained. I've always been naturally trained. I think I can arm wrestle. I could arm wrestle. I have my moments, but I could pull. But I don't believe it was top 10 at any weight in the world, no. Let's have a look at what else we got. Chess goals, mate. Thanks for your super chat. I know Paul got it earlier on. I didn't mention that, but thanks for the super chat in relation to Doug. Much appreciated that, brother. We have got Silky Wilkie with a super chat. Austin, if the match is close with Mindaugas Dulskas, will you have the sense and ability to change things up and force an advantage? What is the plan to get an early win on Mindaugas?
Well, I mean, I hope I do. I was able to do it against Eric. I'm trying to get better about my table IQ, trying to be able to read where to go for even the first go, but it's really hard to know. And from what I've seen, Mindaugas has a really good hook and he's pretty explosive. So my game plan is to take his wrist and hand, try to go back with him. But if he forces me into a hook, then let's rock and roll. Let's see whose hook's stronger. But if If I can't take his hand, then I'll try plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan all the way to Z. So but
Z.
I just be explosive, be the first one to go. Don't catch hit, So
Have you
that's
done
not
any
even my
work on
plan.
endurance, Austin,
Yeah.
for the longer format?
Yeah, I've worked on endurance. I've been working on endurance. Just trying to conditioning period overall. Always doing king of the table at practices. Done that over and over and over again, repeatedly at about every single practice I go to.
How much you weight?
Huh?
How much do you weight at the moment?
Weighed in at like 302, 303 when I pulled Derek.
How much is it in
But
kilos?
right now, probably about 295.
Was it 140 something kilos then?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, that's big.
So what are you
how tall
weighing?
are you, Austin?
6'2".
And you're what, 6 foot, Minigus?
6
Yes.
foot. Oh,
6'1" I am. 6'1", 140.
Mm.
It's 133 kilo. How big are you, Minde?
140.
Okay, so Minde is even bigger.
this be a good matchup. I'm excited.
Mate, I think it's a great matchup. Arm Wars Iron House 3. We have got some killer matches. Do not underestimate Mika Sakbaradze coming into this thing, and straight off the bat, he's going to hit thick-skinned Joshua Davis, who we know can pull from anywhere. Anywhere. There is no losing position for thick skin. And Mika's going to put him into a losing position straight away. He's already told us. So you know that is going to be an absolute career ender straight off the bat. Exciting stuff. Mika and Joshua Thickskin Davis. If that's not enough, we got Mindaugas Terasatis, John Terrian, and obviously both these guys, although this is a show where we only agree with each other, these two don't.
Nah.
How do you figure that? Both think they're going to win. Only one can be right, guys. Only one can be right. So let's have a look. We'll try and knock over some more of these super chats because I know we had quite a few in. Let's have a see. Proving Astrology with a super chat. As a fan, I like the live commentary, but I'll stop listening to them while watching East versus West if Engin stops calling Kings move fouls in neutral positions. Oh, it's on now. It is on now. Agent of Chaos with a super chat. He's put, is there evidence people watching commentaries are going to buy the pay-per-view if they didn't exist? My experience is those people wouldn't have bought. I don't know. As the, like Paul said earlier, is there anybody that can actually prove this stuff?
There's no data.
No,
There's no way to
you
track
can't.
it.
Supposition is all we've got, unfortunately, guys. Carlos Hakim with a super chat, but Joe Rogan does watch parties for UFC pay-per-views. I've heard this before.
Yeah, he does.
Trip 4030303 has put live commentaries like waiting by a building to catch the money thrown away from the roof until the owner stops throwing, then find another building. Mate, it's going to be an engaging argument, this one. I mean, it'll probably get worse after this show, and definitely when Pradeep watches this show at triple kid speed.
Yeah, I'm getting whatever time difference it is in India. I'm gonna have like 35 voice messages.
Silky Wilkie, he's put, say it with me. The live chat is the powerhouse of the cell. Silky Wilkie, thanks, mate. He's a powerhouse at the moment. Byron, the super chat's in. Really appreciate it, brother. Neil's index finger with a super chat. Engin does so much for the sport, and if he asks people, please help out and not do a live, people still do. It's very disrespectful, and I will not follow them anymore. We need to respect Engin. Yeah, there's a lot of passion and support behind Engin in this one, and I'm sure there's followers on all sides of this thing. I know Ryan's been pretty impassioned about this as well. He's made his stance on this for a very long period of time, and I think he feels like he's got an angle there I don't know.
Can I ask you guys a question? Let me ask you guys a question. Paul, have you spoken to Ingen about this like thoroughly?
Yes.
And what's his main? Does he have a I mean, I know he said just. What's his main thing? Like, what's the main concern?
I think number one, I think Ingen is a very principle-driven person.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
getting to know him and what his motivations truly are, and the level of effort he puts in, like it's easy to doubt somebody's like the purity of their intentions, but then when you see it firsthand over and over and over, you stop doubting it. So Ingen, he wears his emotions on his sleeves, and he cares very much, like, and deeply, emotionally about this sport.
Right.
So I think that there's a level of concern from the principal standpoint, but then there's also anything like when you look at, like, if you know the numbers on what the overhead is for those events, and knowing that he has very nominal sponsorship, it's like we're talking about like lose the farm type stuff. So like losing a couple hundred pay-per-views could be the difference between like not having another event. And he because he's always pushing the limits, right? More matches, better matches. And as it's the tricky part is, as East versus West grows, you have more overhead, like
That's true. Yeah.
as the stars grow, people want more money, so the overhead grows and the big matches cost more. And with the progression of King of the Table and everything that's going on, the pullers' values are going up, and the production quality has to go up, and everything has to keep growing. So I think in this infancy, he's very worried that, at any given time, one bad turnout could kill the whole thing.
Well, the reality of the situation is that there's only a few arm wrestlers that really move the dial at this stage.
100%.
That's the reality of the situation. Only a few arm wrestlers significantly move the dial. Obviously, Devin Larratt moves the dial. There's not many guys that move the dial significantly. One of the things that we're trying to do within Arm Wars is create a lot of brand identity for the guys and get their name out there. And we've seen an enormous amount of evidence to suggest that works well. I mean, actually, John Terrian's a really good example of that, because since he came on Arm Wars, would you say, John, that you have become more well-known, more active following your appearance in Arm Wars?
100%. From before I went to Arm Wars, I went to just a few tournaments in the States, and no one knew me. It was kind of nice because I just slam everyone without them knowing who I was. But then after the exposure at Arm Wars, I'm known pretty much everywhere, so I can't hide anymore.
It does make a difference. And if you can create a situation where you create more brand identity for arm wrestlers, they can hopefully gain sponsorship themselves to lighten that load for East versus West and other promotions, for Arm Wars, for everyone. The idea is so that it becomes self-fulfilling for the guys, and they've got a brand identity to take with them. And that's half of the ambition. We do personalized merchandise for our guys when they come over to the Arm Wars Super Series. And Mika's just actually seen his the other week. And he was quite surprised we do that. I don't think a lot of people were aware of that. Mika's coming over and he wasn't aware of that. But that's one of the things that it's just to try and build that brand. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, to try and get the guys a little bit of notoriety. But right now, arm wrestling is in its infancy, and there are not many guys that really are going to move that dial. And if Engin's to put on a massive event, and you got, I mean, I know he's doing less matches this time, I think 10, but in the past we've seen some huge cards. Whenever you do something like that, it's a very significant risk.
Mm-hmm.
A very significant risk. So,
guys, can I say one more thing? Now I was just thinking a little bit about this live commentary thing, and I'm thinking now that if you cut all the live streams, all the commentary streams away, then I would say maybe you are actually risking to lose some pay-per-views, because everyone likes to share their emotions, our people. So chat a little bit, or just somehow do a party, like And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
let's say somebody is just sitting at home alone, maybe on the night, couldn't really go to some our guys and watch it together. Maybe he will choose to skip the event completely instead of joining some commentary chat on top of buying the pay-per-view. Maybe he will say, okay, I will just skip it. I will not buy it this time.
That's the answer.
So,
Add the option.
A bit like
what-
Paul said earlier, it all comes down to respect. The commentators should at least try to push people to go and buy the pay-per-view. I know I've watched one of Ozzy's arm wrestler, and I really respect him as a person because he is amazing at showing events, at promoting events. And yes, he does side commentating, but he also all along the entire commentating, he tries to encourage people to go buy the pay-per-view. So I think if you do put it like that, it's kind of a gain for East versus West because it brings a lot of viewers and try to push them to go view.
And I think he's got like there was a guy, I was watching him as well. There was a guy like buying to pay-per-views who hasn't got any money, and the guy was just buying the pay-per-view for the guys, you can just watch. He was the guy was throwing loads of money into it, just keep buying the pay-per-views for other guys. Like,
I think that was Mr. Perkley 80.
I'm not sure, who was it? I just know there was a guy.
Yeah. So let's knock over some more of these. We're going to be on here for about another 5-10 minutes, guys. Then we'll probably leave that. I know that the sort of buying pay-per-views and things like memberships and so on has been going on for a while. I know Marcus does that with Arm Gods, I think. Where he'll give out memberships to Arm Gods, I believe. Marcus Thompson. He was in the chat earlier, Marcus. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but anyway, I've seen that done before.
He's still
Jake Arthur with a super chat. He's put, I wonder how difficult it would be to enable chat on Core Sports live stream. Commentary is already world class on East versus West. Just the chat is missing, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean the point when Paul made that earlier on. Yeah, I genuinely do, but I can see the chat's a thing. When we did the dark card, one of the thing that went tits south for us was on the membership side of the event. We were trying to live stream it, and it won't allow you to do that. We've actually solved that problem now for our members, but and going forward, it won't happen again. But you learn these things by bitter experience, and we certainly did. But one of the things that was great on this side of the chat before we went into the membership side, the chat was buzzing. I think there was 5,000 people in there getting ready for that thing. You couldn't keep up with it. I was watching that, and it was just immoral. The thing was firing through, and that was really, really good. It shows the excitement and the engagement that was had by that. So there's definitely something there. Trip World 30303 has put, Neil, you missed my previous super chat. Shit, did I genuinely apologize? I'll look back in a second. He says, you missed my previous super chat question to you, and in addition, I assume there was no more King of the Table East versus West and with live commentary. Will they do it like tennis? I don't know, mate, to be perfectly honest. How many sports do live commentaries? Boxing does. I don't know about tennis. I don't know about UFC. Does anybody do live comment? I know Jake did a couple of.
There's tennis, yeah.
Tennis.
There's tennis. There are very few, but they do it. But also, one other thing I wanted to say, just like to kind of finish up on it, is a lot of people, because arm wrestling, there's so many different promotions, there's so many different events going on, there's so many different lives. I know we think of King of the Table, Arm Wars, East versus West are the main big ones, but there's so many that some people, this may be a surprise to a lot of people, but a lot of people don't even know how to buy it, even though I know Engin promotes it, Artem promotes it, everybody's promoting it, but a lot of people don't even know where to go sometimes. Like last minute, I get even people asking me, like, where can I buy the paper? I'm like, are you kidding me? It's been posted all over the place, but that's because I'm part of all these forums. Yep. What about the arm wrestle, the casuals who are not? How are they going to get? What if they don't know even where to buy it? I mean, I'm sure somebody can figure out, but sometimes it's just that ease of, oh, I know Pradeep, or oh, I know, whoever's doing the live commentary. And then if they promote it, hey guys, here's the stream, it could bring in sales. My gut feeling, I respect Engin. I if he says don't do it, I wouldn't do it. But my gut feeling is that the live commentary is probably an overall positive. That's just my opinion. I think that it will bring in more people, more interest into the sport than cutting it off, and the fact that we can't stop it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. We can't legally stop the thing. So that's why I was asking Paul if you talk to, I'm sure people are talking to Ingen and trying to explain this kind of version, this side of things.
Yeah, it's a good point, mate. We need to probably up our game as a sport and as a community to try and get this thing rolling a little bit better and promote it better. Try and get the information out there about events. And on that very note, guys, Arm Wars Iron House, for Arm Wars YouTube channel members, this weekend, Iron House 3, you can see Austin Jaggers, Mindaugas Dulskas, Mindaugas Teresaitis, John Terrian, Tom Holland will be pulling Philip Ritz. We got Relentless Frode Hoagland against James Brickwall. We got Mika Sakvarilidze against Thick Skin. It's on this weekend, mate. This coming weekend. Get yourself for all YouTube channel member tiers in the Arm Wars Super Series. Agent of Chaos just come in and put, I don't watch the commentaries, only live pay-per-view, but it doesn't seem to me like Engen is losing any significant amount of money. He may even gain. I have no idea, but I don't know is the honest answer to that. But if the guy is asking it not to be done, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sure I haven't caught Engen's lives on it or anything like that, but Engen's a pretty in-depth guy. I'm sure he's gone into this in quite a lot of detail, and I'm sure he will again. Just old Joe with a super chat. Thanks, brother. He's put, Engen is not my daddy. Because I said so doesn't cut it. I buy the pay-per-view and still want a live chat during the event, period. So just old Joe is saying there he likes the chat. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the solutions. There needs to be a way to sort of facilitate that chat when the thing is going on. That's not beyond the wit of man. Surely. That's that can be facilitated. I'm sure of that.
But I'll say I don't even know, because some of these guys, like, there's a lot of big hardcore fans for, like, let's say Ryan. So when he does a live commentary, they just kind of want to hang with. They feel like they're hanging out with him. So yeah, it might solve some things, but I still think people are gonna cater. They're gonna still flock to whoever they're a fan of, and they still might buy the pay-per-view anyway. Does that make sense?
Pradeep will be on my live commentary. If I did, Pradeep be on that. Because he wants to hang out with me. There'd be Pradeep and Paul Maiden. Just those two. Maiden and Pradeep in there. I keep up to go in and go,
Pradeep, Paul.
How you doing? So we roll. Arm Historian's in the chat. One of my favorites. If you're not subscribed to the Arm Historian, get over there. I love it. Love a bit of Arm Historian. Kirsten Prodigy has come pinging in with a super chat. He's put, good luck, guys. John, see you soon. Another match. John Terrian. The Savage will be pulling. Kirsten Prodigy. Is that in August, mate? When does that go down?
Yeah, August 12th in Toronto at We the North at Magda's tournament.
Magda's tournament, We the North in August. That's where John Brasink will face Toddzilla at that show too. So keep your eyes out for that one. Silky Wilkie has come firing in with another super chat. Thanks, mate. It's been awesome all night. All of your Iron House matches have M and J theme. Mindy versus John. Mika versus Josh. Mindy versus Jaggers. Holy shit. Silky Wilkie's onto something. We didn't even know that. It was a total accident, guys. But it would appear that is the case. Although it starts to go tits when Frode Hoagland's match comes on and blows it all out of the water. But yeah, we got some great matches, mate. Absolute crackers coming up. Am I caught up now on chats? Let's have a look. Silky Wilkie's put, Neil will be on the next dark card versus Paul Maiden. Mate, unfortunately, there's a reason I wear all this electrical shit on my wrist. That's because it's strap. But if there is a time to come back and I get strong, I would hope that I'll be pulling someone a hell of a lot better than Paul Maiden. That's for sure. Are you having a laugh? Let's have a look. One guy I would like to pull at some point in my life, before if I could ever get stem celled up and pull again,
yes,
I would love to pull John Brasink again. I'd just love to pull John. Why? Because he's John Brasink. That's why. I'd love to do that again. If I could get fit and strong again, that'd be one guy that I'd like to arm wrestle.
Just curious, Neil, how much are stem cells there in England?
You know what? For other reasons, mate, my wrist has been really bad. And when Devon came over to the Art Card show, I was asking him about stem cells and about that whole thing because a couple of weekends before, I've been out on my just on my motorbike with my boys, and we were going down a track, and it was really bumpy. And as I'm following my sons down there, my hands are on the bar and it's smacking my wrist about. When I got to the bottom, I had to have 10, 15 minutes off my bike with my wrist swelled up, killing I was putting my hand in a stream in the cold water to take the pain away so I could ride back up after my sons. And I thought, this is friggin' ridiculous. I've got to get this sorted out. So,
but Neil, how much are stem cells there? 12 grand for one
we
shot?
Wouldn't have them here, mate. That's why I was asking Devon. I was going to go over.
Well, you know, I just got them done, right? You know,
Say again, mate. You've got them done.
I got it done.
Interesting. Has it worked?
Twice. Yes.
Interesting.
I'm so interested in that stuff.
Significantly, it has worked significantly. Like because I've been dealing with a UCL. I had a major UCL 60% tear in my ligament for years, right? So I did everything. I mean, look, I play tennis all day. Obviously, that's not helping, so I had to stop that. I had to take extra precautions, but I took a trip down to Tijuana. Got some shots done, came back, felt significantly better. It wasn't 100%. I couldn't still do everything I wanted to do, but I can now straighten my arm. I can now turn and supinate. I can now start to practice arm wrestling. And then I just got another shot done just to reinforce it right before Arm Wars. So I'm going to say $12,000 too much. I wouldn't pay for that because it may work, it may not work. Some people, they experience really good stuff. Some people are like, okay, it helped, but not enough to where you can justify that type of money. But personally, I mean, Tijuana was like $400 per shot. So here in the United States, it cost me $4,000.
I know he was speaking to me about exosomes as well.
Yeah, exosomes are great too. I think Devin is doing by some other company. I think Devin also did the one in Tijuana, and now he's doing. He got with a company, something biologics or something. Yeah. So I would look into it, Neil. I'm really excited for you.
Listen, genuinely, not even forget arm wrestling. If I don't arm wrestle again, just for the fact where I'm brushing my teeth and my friggin' wrist hurts. You know, when you get into that level, it's like, what the?
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I like going out on my motorbike with my boys. I used to like fly fishing, believe it or not. I used to like fly fishing. I had to stop fly fishing. The fly fishing rod weighs nothing. I had to stop fly fishing because the action of it just was absolutely scrapping my wrist. So I'd come back from a couple of hours fly fishing, and my wrist would be like this the next day, just completely shagged. So I gotta look at getting something done.
I would try it. You have nothing to lose, right?
Is not a Paul Maiden.
If the owner of Vitacell Biologics is watching, we will do the fix live from one of your facilities for a discounted price.
Just
let us know, and we'll promote it every week.
I will promote the hell out of it. They can mend my wrist, no joke.
I know.
I will have a T-shirt on saying stem cell, whatever company it is, stem cells are the tits.
Yeah.
I will put it on my 6 sets of tits. All 6 tits with an advert on them. The back tits, the ankle tits, all tits. That's how I roll. Look. What else have we got? Hopefully, I've got Agent of Chaos. People should do Engin's request out of respect. And if not out of respect, out of absolute fear. Because he will find you. Oh, yes. He will find you. Trip War 030303 has put, Neil, if you ask Paul not to swear during your live streams, kindly as a friend, but Paul replies, no, it's my legal right. Would you invite him again to live? Are we talking Paul Maiden? Mate, Paul Maiden has done horrific things on my car seat, okay? I know Paul very well. I basically have helped train Paul for years. He used to come over here and train. Paul's a good arm wrestler. But if you think Paul Maiden won't stop swearing, Paul Maiden is like that guy that's just learned to swear. You know, it's like, and he's going around and throwing swears out for fun. He loves to swear. I mean, watch any Paul Maiden live stream and you'll see two things. He talks about me and swearing. And that's what he does. That's Paul's MO. You won't stop him. Shout out to Dave Maiden, Paul's dad, though. Great dude. Love Dave Maiden. He's a top man. Let's have a look. I think we're caught up on Super Chats. Apologies if I've missed any, guys. I don't believe I have. And we are probably going to wrap up right about now. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's come on the show tonight. John, the Savage Terrian. You remember, you can see this guy next week, Arm Wars Iron House 3. YouTube channel members of the Arm Wars. This guy will be in action and he will be pulling.
Come see him getting crushed. Yes.
Mindigus Tenasatis will be pulling John Terrian in the Iron House 3 next week. If that's not good enough for you, what about Austin, the Juggernaut Jaggers? He's going to be there too, and he will be pulling our very own Mindigus Dulskus. The man up in the top corner there, two very big boys going at it. Joel Cagle has just come in with a super chat. Some people call him the Strawberry Cough. Some people call him the Chicken Man. Let's have a look. We're going to the pub hopping at some point. Can't wait for this event. Very humbling to be included with all of you. Let's run it. Mate, looking forward to meet you, Joel. He'll be there as well against Jason Hill. If you're not subscribed to Paul Lynn and Lethal Arms, what the fuck is your problem? Get over there.
Question for you, Neil.
I know. Say again, John.
I have a question for you.
Go,
are you gonna have my pig there this time at the Iron House?
The pig's missing, John.
Dude.
We've been putting on some of the end of the films. We've put the pig. The Iron House pig is missing.
No, I've seen for sale. You better not have sold it.
Yeah, James may have sold him.
Oh God.
You know, he was getting into some of the bin bags and doing a lot of damage. So I don't know where he's gone, but the pig is missing. He's a big pig as well, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bacon.
People don't believe that the Iron House pig's a thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
He's a thing. The pig is real. The Iron House pig lives, and he's a big pig. Let me tell you now. When he comes sneaking into that front room, and he just comes in. When you're in the front room and he comes in at night, he will scare the out of you.
We almost lost Dustin Hyatt.
Meek is like, we're talking about this pig. I'm telling you. How big's that pig, John?
It's big. It's a full-size pig.
It's a massive boar. A big pig comes in. So that, yeah, you don't need him in your
Almost
life.
as big as Neil.
Oh, he's not that big. He's a big pig. He's a good old pig.
This random pig walking in the house.
Yeah, he comes in. He's
You're just chilling there and a pig just walks.
Here he comes. Pig comes in.
It.
Iron House pig.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
He's an animal, mate. Mika is coming into the house next week, guys. He will be in Iron House 3, making his debut at the Arm Wars Super Series. What a match. Josh Davis, thick skin, is going to run headlong into this, man. USA versus Wales at the Iron House 3. Going to be a killer matchup. Check it out. The new invigorated Mika Sakvaradidze of California is making his way over to the Iron House. What a weekend that is going to be. Next weekend, guys, remember, Arm Wars YouTube channel members can see that on Sunday. Get over, check it out. Check out Jaggers and Mindigus Dulskus, Terrian and Tenasatis, Sakvaradidze, and Joshua Davis. Ladies and gents,
I love you guys.
Taking the time. We will see you all next
Have a great
time.
Sunday,
For
guys.
those of you in the chat, thank you for giving up your time tonight. This was the Fix 145. We'll see you next time. Biggity bong, mother fluffers.
Ciao.